here at Martin's. Unloading Maud from the tow truck. And the only reason that I didn't go to RV Superstore is because they don't do this stuff. Here's the shifters sitting on my lap. And I'm finally cool today. Well, it was cool in the RV because I had the generator going and the AC. Good God, don't let anything happen to my RV. Please. I'm having a slightly chilled Acolto. To my face it feels cold, but to my palate not so much. My air was coming out hot. Apparently, Eduardo, who's the owner here, he had me on 30 amp hour, whatever, and then he took me off of that because it kept blowing a fuse, but that's because he has too much stuff on it. So then he put me on 120. Which I didn't realize. And so with the 120, my air was coming out hot. It was just like an oven blowing. So there's another guy here, Spencer, who I think that Spencer knows a lot more about RVs because he said, let me ask Spencer. So we went and he asked Spencer, and Spencer understood that, shifty's there, that the 120 power would probably not be enough to make this go cold. Poor Shifty is laying on the floor now, trying to cool off because it's a very hot time of day here. Even though my air conditioner is coming out cool now, thank God. Oh, boys and girls, kids of all ages, this has not been a good day. This has been one of my worst days ever. And my poor little Shifty, I gotta keep him cool. Okay, he's still panting. I'm gonna wipe him down with a cold towel. And now for the transmission. He said he's got to take it out tomorrow to look at it. And that'll take about 6-7 hours at $95 an hour. Does it take that long to take out a transmission? I swear to God, I took that job at RTC. And you know, when these things happen, you start to feel sorry for yourself. At least I do. Remember with the plumbing problem and I started crying? Well, it just feels to me that every time I'm like 2 steps forward, 5 miles back. 2 steps forward, 5 miles back. Every time I get just a little bit ahead. It was not even a whole bunch of money that I'm making at the RTC. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta go because I gotta cry and I don't want to cry here, okay? Crying is not gonna help, but crying doesn't solve anything, but at least it releases the emotion and you can think straight after that's over. It's like a good slap in the face. Okay. Hi. Okay, kids, I'm in the dark. Hi. Because I'm kind of afraid to turn any more power on here. Let me do one. Because this place that I'm at keeps blowing the fuse when I turn on anything. Anyway, I did not want to come here because I didn't think that they were capable of doing my transmission. When I finally talked to Progressive, Agiro, that is the tow company, the roadside assistance for Progressive. I finally talked to someone who heard me. His name was Derek. He's a supervisor. And he's like, well, we took you there because they're capable of doing the repair. I'm like, what makes you think that they're capable of doing the repair? What makes you motivated to believe that? Well, they have the equipment. I'm like, what kind of equipment? What equipment is making you think that they're capable? He says, well, they have the hoist and this and that to get underneath the RV. I'm like, I don't see any hoist here. There's no hoist, and there's no dugout for them to get underneath either. I said, wait a minute, there's another RV over here that they're working on. Let me go out and see what that RV is up on because it's up in the front. And I said, oh, I see. This is how they have this RV lifted. There you go. That's what it's up on. That's the proper equipment that Progressive is approving. That's one rim, and that's how they're working on this RV. Oh, a rim and a piece of board. That's how they're hoisting it up. That's the equipment that Progressive is saying is appropriate to do my transmission. They want me to let these people work on my transmission. Oh. What kind of warranty am I going to walk away with? The 2 rims. It's holding the other side. A cinder block. Okay. This RV is as big as mine. This RV is up on 2 rims! Rims this way, and the tires are resting on the rims. That's what finally convinced him that this is not the appropriate place for me. So hopefully tomorrow he authorized the tow for me to go from here to Las Vegas, which is where they should have taken me in the first place. And that's what I lobbied for all day. Please take me to Las Vegas. Do not see me getting a great warranty or any kind of paperwork from this place that when I get back on the road, if anything happens again, that I'm guaranteed that I'm warranted for, okay? So anyway, I don't know why they did this to me. Don't go to Progressive, because Progressive sucks. Get AAA for roadside assistance. I'm dropping Progressive right after this, and I'm getting Good Sam, and not their roadside assistance either, because their roadside assistance is the same thing as Progressive. 15 miles, or whoever they deem appropriate or capable of making the repair. That's why I was towed here, because the lady called here and they said, oh yeah, we fix transmissions. No, they don't do this. You don't have the proper equipment to fix my transmission. You're gonna put my RV up on tire rims? Shame, 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 Progressive. But got it done, and finally Derek, the supervisor, heard me and understood when I said, oh, that RV is up on hubcap rims, tire rims. Oh, okie dokie. Bye. Okay, so it's the next day. I've finally gotten through to Progressive that this is not a reputable transmission shop. I found a transmission shop here in town. It's called Bulletproof Transmission. They're willing to help me. Progressive is willing to re-tow me over there. The only thing that is not willing to let me leave here is Martin's. They're holding me captive here. Okay, they're not letting me leave. I have to wait for the police to come. I went to leave, and I went into the tow truck with Pete, and Rosie comes to the door. That's her name, Rosie. She comes to the door and she knocks on the door of the tow truck. She says, I tell you, now you're gonna pay $190. 2 hours of diagnostic work at $95 an hour. I'm like, what diagnostic work did you do? I came here last night, I pulled in, and he didn't do anything. And waiting for the cops to come, they told Pete, we're gonna do anything that we can to keep this RV here. Going back into Martin's. Okay, where is the piece of paper that you're saying that I signed? Okay, there was nothing written on here when we came in.
I'm sorry.
There was nothing there.
I'm sorry.
So now you have to show.
Here it is.
See this?
I'm charging you
No,
right now.
he showed.
Okay, I don't want to talk to you.
Was that on there this morning?
When the police is here, I want to talk to you.
Okay, you showed me the paper. Was that on there this morning when was that on there yesterday when I signed
That's
it?
why I signed. I told you, can you sign it and give us permission to?
You weren't here yesterday when I signed it.
I was in
Did
a
I
road
sign?
call.
What?
I was in a road call. So
Was this on here when I signed it?
I wasn't.
This was not
I
on here.
talked to you. I was in a road
This
call.
was not on here when I signed it. You wrote this just now, right? Right. You signed. You wrote it just now, right?
That's why.
Okay. So you're not allowed to do that. You can't come out and say, okay, now here's what I'm writing on here, and now this is what you got to pay because I said it today. They said, it's my business. I can do whatever I want. I said, well, I don't think you can do that. So Pete, the tow truck driver, he chimed in too. He's like, no, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. He goes, it's a blank piece of paper. There's nothing on there. Now everybody's calling the police. They're waiting for the police to come. So I come into the truck, and me and Pete are sitting in the truck waiting for the cops to come, who we've been waiting for 2.5 hours now. So that's 6.5 hours waiting yesterday and 2.5 hours today. I'm not a patient woman to begin with. Even Pete, my tow truck driver who owned who owned repair shops, said you better report this to the DMV because they can't do that. There's other stipulations. They're supposed to have certain degrees or certain stuff on their walls. Anyway, so now I'm stuck here instead of being at Bulletproof, having them working on my transmission. But these people are not letting me leave. We were waiting 2.5 hours. Okay, so that's where we are now. Always me, right? I have one question. Was that paper blank this morning?
Yes, because
You wrote the diagnostic after I signed it,
because
right?
I had to make sure you pay for my job. That's
Okay.
why I told you had to sign my paper.
Okay, but you wrote 2 hours of diagnostic after I had signed it, correct? Is that correct? That's what she told you too, officer? Okay, and thank you, officer. Bulletproof transmission. And the place even has transmission in the name. This is a real office. And Rush just came out and gave me some bad news that the tranny does have to be rebuilt, but he's going to give me a good deal on it. And we're going to go over to Bank of America. I have to put half down now, half when it's finished, but it will be finished when Sydney gets here.